Hello, folks. It's Nader. We're here back in the long dark. We're going to start a brand new stream, brand new run. Um, those of you who are new to this, we are doing the Roll with It challenge, which is a challenge I came up with a few years back, in which we our time in each area is randomly determined when we arrive. So we don't know until we arrive how long we're going to stay. And it begins relatively simply with 1 to 10 days in each major region and 1 to 4 days in each transition zone or micro region. But after day 50, the length of stay changes. It becomes 1 to 20 days in each major region and 1 to 6 days in each transition zone. And then every 50 days after that, it bumps up for transition zones until eventually it hits 1 to 10 days. So the scaling is based on standard D&D or RPG dice that begin with 1 to 4, then 1 to 6, 1 to 8, 1 to 10. 1 to 12 would be ridiculous. We're not doing 1 to 12 in, can you imagine that in, I don't know, Crumbling Highway? Not Crumbling Highway, I think it's Crumbling Highway. So not Coastal, not Desolation, but Crumbling Highway, the little micro region in between. 12 days there would be insane. So 10 days is hard enough. There is Beachcombing. It's better now than it was before. Some of these regions will be particularly tough when we get to the 1 to 20 range because we may start encountering cougars. And that might not be fun. Okay, so here we are. We're going to start. We'll choose Interloper. We choose Astrid. We choose our favorite feats. I was watching a Zach Naffigan video recently where he commented about the fact that a lot of newer players will not have access to Efficient Machine because you have to have survived 500 days. 500 days in a run, or a total of 500 days in all your runs. So yeah. So if you haven't got that, I have not gotten all the feats. There are a lot of ones that I missed, but that's okay. Cougar is on. This will be our first time doing Roll with It with a cougar. Hey, brave little bee, welcome in. Let's see, we are doing Roll with It 2026. This is number, I guess we have to do 26. Attempt number 1. We will go through a lot of attempts. So if you're just joining us, I'm doing a challenge called Roll With It, which I designed a couple years ago, and it is a lot of fun. It is extremely challenging in ways that often are unexpected. So let's see here. Okay, so right off the bat, I feel like we're in Pleasant Valley. Yeah, E.G., we are back. In 2026, we're starting off with Roll With It. We'll throw it up here one more time for those who missed it. This is Roll With It. I am Nader, but pretty much everyone just calls me Baba. Baba's fine. I'm a writer. I'm the author of 2 books of poetry. I'm also a translator, a former computer games programmer, a full-time, I don't know. I might be a full-time creative writing coach and manuscript editor again. I'm waiting on, I just finished a degree in library and information science, which is my 4th degree because I can't stop going to school, and looking for work I'm waiting this coming week for news as to whether or not I got a position in Toronto. So if I get the position, then I pick up and move all the way out to Toronto. If I don't get the position, I move back to Saskatchewan. So we'll see. Oh, I did look, E.G., I did look at those. I would be really curious to see what you find in your playthrough of that. I have not decided if I'm going to do one of these attempts with those changes. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I like the way that it is designed right now for me is, for me, it's still relatively simple. I can follow the rules, and I don't need to. It's still a little bit cumbersome to explain, but for the most part, it's easy to follow the rules. But I am intrigued by the idea of splitting Bleak into two regions, or Upper Bleak and Lower Bleak. I think that might be worth looking at, because I do think I end up neglecting, Upper Bleak because of that. So when we get to Bleak, we'll probably make a decision about that one. So yeah, I'll review them again, but I think I might adopt some of those. Yeah. Okay, so we start off right away with our thing that we have to do, which is we have to roll a die. We are in our first region. This is still within the first 50 days, so we are rolling a d10. And of course, it's a 9. Okay. So right off the bat, we have 9 days here. Which means we cannot leave before the 9 days are up. And there's a bridge. Okay. I think I know where we are. Ooh, no, there's a wolf over there. Bad idea. Oh, the D15. Yeah. The idea of having something in between the D12 and the D20 it's a good idea. I think there should probably be something in between. It's less D&D like, but unless we start doing like 3d6 and 2d6. Could start doing that. Then it'd be even more D&D like. Okay.
Wait, I'm so cold. I'm warming up a bit.
Yeah. We need to get to shelter soon. We need to find fire soon. What's our best bet here? Look, this is going to be long. Keep running into the wind. So, one of the reasons why I was a little hesitant to start this challenge is because I am in the final stages of packing things up and getting ready for my move. And I'm about to... So, like this weekend on Sunday, so tomorrow, my roommate will be mostly moved out. But will come back the following weekend to move the rest of the furniture out that they're taking. I have packed almost everything, but I'm at the stage where I have to sell whatever furniture they're not taking. I can't take with me, and my landlord's not interested in keeping. So, yeah, we're looking at. I have to unload a bunch of stuff. Basically, I've got someone coming by to pick up 2 bookcases on Tuesday. I have 2 more bookcases to get rid of. And I think we wandered off of our plan here. Yeah, bookcases. I have a sofa to get rid of, which I think I'll just list for free once the TV is gone, which will be next weekend. There won't really be a point in having a sofa in there. So I'll just list it for free and see if someone will take it right away. Oh, we got double frostbite risk. Gotta be close to something soon. It'll be really rotten if we start off this one with we really should have gone the other direction, shouldn't we? I think that's the answer. We should have gone the other way. Well, at least we can get some food. Yep, we do want these right now. Yeah, so sometime this week I find out if I get the job. If I get the job, then everything goes into overdrive in terms of trying to quickly settle everything and get out of here because I have to move cross country to the opposite side of the country. Unless they offer me the job and are willing to allow me to start in March instead of February. And then I would have a few extra weeks to kind of make the move, find. Where am I? Did I totally get this wrong? No, we're not looking good here. Okay, I see a barn up there. We have totally. I thought I was in a different place. I've like totally messed this up. Our luck will run right into the bear. Or the wolf. That's not good. Now we're just going to walk the dog. Try to lose the dog here. Yep. Still following. So yeah, I think it would be great if bunnies. Okay, we got to be closer. Yeah, it'd be great if they let me start in March. But if they start in March, my contract length is actually going to be quite a bit shorter than they originally wanted. And so I'll get less experience and they will get less work out of me. So my sneaky suspicion, my underlying suspicion is I'm not, unless the pool of candidates is really bad, they will probably choose someone who is local and can start in February. than risk having me have to delay until March. So, yeah. We're still not quite frozen yet, so we're good. Lost the wolf. So I don't know. It's like, as much as I would love the job and love the opportunity to start in a new city, I have a suspicion that the logistics of doing that for a contract position are going to be not good. Oh, he wants you as a backup adventurer. So these are like D&D one-shots on stream? Or is he recording them and then editing and then putting the edited content up? Or is this like off stream? Okay, let's get in out of the cold. We did not get frostbite. We did get very cold. Books are our friend right now, because with the books, we can start fires quickly. Now, we don't need all of them. We'll take a few. Okay. If I don't get the job, then I've got a little bit more flexibility about when I leave here. I still don't want to leave too late. Yeah, because if I go to Toronto, my streaming time will be better. Yeah. That is true. I think Tormuse would also like that.
Do I, if I don't warm up soon?
The nice thing about this Pleasant Valley start is that we have access to water right off the bat. And there's a good chance of finding food and matches, all sorts of like useful items here. And since we made it to Thompson's Crossing, we should be able to find matches either in the gas station convenience store, or the, I guess it's a convenience store. Is it a gas station? I feel like it's not the Orca, but oh, there's flour. Just want a skillet. Okay, anything up here? Sometimes they hide stuff up here. You have to back up a little bit to see it. Yeah. Nothing to the side. Yeah. Well, I also don't know, like, ooh, that's a good amount of water. I don't know where I'm going to end up. If I do go to Toronto, I'll still have to find a place to live. And I think I've thought about a few different strategies for how to get settled there. And I think the reality is I'll probably have to have some sort of short-term setup maybe the university will be kind enough to help me locate something for the first week or so, and then I will probably have to rent a room, like in a. I think like I just don't think with this being a contract position, and there's no whatchamacallit, there's no path forward. Like there's no opportunity to transition out of the contract role into a full-time position, because it's a maternity fill, it's a parental leave fill, and so the university is not authorizing a new hire. They're just authorizing a temporary replacement, and there's no plans to create more positions. So unless someone else leaves, it is unlikely that there will be a position for me when I'm done. So that's kind of frustrating, right? Yeah, the good news would be that there are a lot more libraries and a lot more universities in Toronto area, and if I'm working, at one of these universities, there's a good chance that I'll be making a lot of connections with people, and I can get to know a lot of other people. And so when something does open up, I'll have a better chance, thanks to good old-fashioned networking. But there's a risk that I don't find anything, right? That the market continues to be down, and I have to pick up and move back to Saskatchewan yet again. So that makes me feel like I should, when I move out there, I shouldn't move, I should move lightly, travel lightly, have the bare minimum that makes sense for me to operate, and feel comfortable, but not be planning to set down roots until I have something that feels like a solid position. So right now I'm loading up everything and moving back to Saskatchewan as the first step, but this week I find out if it is the first step or if it's the destination. So if it is the first step, then I get home and then I unload and then repack, with the plan of taking only the bare essentials. So yeah. Oh, can opener. We need a sewing kit somewhere. Potato. Yeah, that's then the rest would, well, if it works out. Yeah, my mother is very, very set on moving out to join me out there. But I've been telling her, it's I don't think it would be wise to pick up and move out there until I have a permanent position. Because otherwise there'll be just two of us living off of savings, which doesn't make any sense, or we'll both end up working at Costco or something. But it's you can't live in Toronto like that. It's just not realistic. So yeah, I think most stuff will just end up in storage. My sister is still going to be in Saskatchewan, so she said that worst case scenario, I can store things in their garage. So there is like at least one place. Like the default right now is to store it in my mother's basement, but I spent my Christmas break packing up my entire personal library. Because there's a possibility too that my mother might just decide that she wants to move. Well, if we stay in Saskatchewan, then she's considering moving to, an apartment or a condo. But that would require even more downsizing, and it's a bigger headache. There's a part of me that just really doesn't want to do that, because giving up the house is basically, her mortgage payment on the house is cheaper than what you'd pay for rent anywhere. So as inconvenient as the house is, it's still cheaper to live there. So but it's also a house that really is not serving her as well as it should, you know.
This will come in handy.
Now, it's not good for her to be in a house where she has to constantly go up and down stairs to use the laundry, and yay, matches, bonus matches actually. Oh, and I see the skillet too. Now all we need is some oil. We get some oil, we will be set.
This stuff will come in handy.
Well, we're slowly getting equipped.
Can you eat trees? Because I'm gonna eat a tree.
Okay, let's go. I guess we could just eat what we got here. I feel lucky. I feel lucky. Okay. Okay, and we should probably make a note. Okay, so roll with it. TV. Okay, so Dave. Zero of 9. I think this time, instead of doing the arrows, we will just make a list. It will be easier to read. Okay.
Anything right now.
Okay, it's morning. Morning, Astrid. Let's go check over here. Nothing. So we have a can and we have a skillet. Nice if we had the pot. We don't have the pot. And I don't think we have... Oh, we have 2 cans. Oh, because we have a can opener. Good job. Useful, but no oil. Okay, we have lots of cloth. Let's make some bandages.
Oh, I'm starving.
Okay. Okay, let's see here. Our 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that was terrible. 6, 7. Okay. Oh, that's even worse. Oops. It's gonna take too long to cook. Let's pop up on the stage. Oh, there we go. Improved a little bit. Still kind of comical. Looks almost like a clown. But, okay, I'm going to take a short break here. I need to refill my tea. Okay, I'm back. Thanks for your patience. Tea took a little bit longer to brew than I thought. Let's see here. This is crappy torches. Look at all the crappy torches. I guess we could have busted this one down. Oh well. We have our stones. We have our torches. We're good. Okay. Now we gotta get... Hopefully find good stuff over here. So yeah, we made it first day yet. We are still on day 0. Where are you, buddy? Oh, you're over there. Okay, I see. Goodbye. Nope. Sewing kit. We can solve our frostbite problem here in a second. We just need to put something on our head. Nope, no pry bar. So yeah, let's see. Last time I streamed must have been earlier this week. Oh, and there's more matches. So last night, my roommate and I went out dinner. It's nice. To a really good Thai restaurant in the city. And a great meal. But it was, yeah, it was kind of sad at the same time thinking about, like, this is kind of this is the end of the chapter. You know, we move on, do our own things. But, yeah. And we'll see if our paths cross again sometime in the future or not. Yeah, sometimes I have roommates and we're just roommates. And then other times you have roommates and you just feel rather fond of them. You want them to do well, and you think about them, and you kind of hope that things work out in their lives, and hope that you run into them again at some point. I mean, it's like high school, you know. There are people that you spend a lot of time with in high school that you think, oh, be great if we still hung out together, and then you meet them years later and you're like, no, we had nothing in common. But there are other people that you meet and you stay friends with for a long time. You may not even be constantly in contact with each other, but you like, when you do cross paths, even if it's just like virtually, you know, email or social media or something like that. You reconnect briefly. The time just kind of shrinks. And you remember like how good the friendship was when you were together. Yeah. Okay.
Find some place to escape this cold. Too cold to think.
There are times I think the only thing I'm good at is studying. We're not studying, is I don't know, learning things. I feel like I really enjoy learning. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy helping others find what they're looking for. And sometimes I wonder if there are enough of those jobs out there. Because like every time I pursue a career path, it seems like the profession shuts down around me. I trained to become a professor for creative writing, and then the market collapsed. Especially when it came to being like if you were a non-U.S. citizen applying for positions in the U.S. and Canadians didn't know what to do with me. Americans didn't know how to hire me. So I consulted for a number of years, and then I was writer in residence for the public library system back home, and kind of made me think about what my father had said. My father was a librarian. He said, if you ever reach a crossroads, don't know what to do library science. So I did. And it was good. It was a good experience these last 2 years. But again, profession is kind of collapsing right now. It's become hyper political in the US, so like it's very difficult to function as an academic librarian. And as a Canadian, it's like, yeah, good luck, trying to navigate that immigration system. Not going to happen. And then in Canada, we had our own set of challenges because we had this ripple effect from capping international student visas, which most universities rely on international undergraduate student tuition to kind of fill in the gaps in their budget. So there's still a correction happening right now. It's still been a few years, and they still have not been able to figure out how to balance their budget. So it means hiring tends to get frozen across the board at the university. So not just my previous profession, but also my current profession as an academic librarian. So I don't know. I don't know what's out there for me. We'll see. Sometime next week, we'll find out what the next step is. Am I going to Toronto? Am I going to Saskatchewan? If I go back to Saskatchewan, I think I will continue to look for positions, but I will invest more time in my creative work. And I will work towards getting grants to support myself on working on poetry and essay manuscripts. Work on some books. Because I've been putting off working on my creative work for a while, and I need to get back to it. So I think this would, I think that's the thing. If this job doesn't work out, then I'll still look for library work, but I will spend more time doing creative work. I'll take that as a sign that that's where my energy should be for the next little while.
Come on, little fire.
Okay, we need more torches. Well, some of these are really terrible. 24 is not awful, but it's not great. That's what I want to see, like that. Oh, sounds like my roommate's back. Take a quick break. Be back in a second. Okay, back. Working out logistics for helping my roommate move stuff tomorrow. So. Okay, let's see what we got here. Archery. That's promising. So honestly, getting 9 days for our roll with it for this region is actually really good. Because it gives us plenty of time to loot. There are other regions where I would not want to stay for 9 days. At least not at the start. Yeah, 9 days spawn at Blackrock. 9 days. Not fun. Okay, our first stim. Sometimes there's stuff underneath the truck, but not today. I always feel like we end up with so many whetstones. Hey Roller, good to see you. What's it, EG, Roller? What else do we have in? Just the two of you, I guess, right now. This is empty? That's strange. How much firewood do we have left? Only 5. Okay.
Come on, little fire.
Okay, we want to do one thing while we're here. And that is cover our head. 30 minutes. Okay, we can do it. No more frostbite. About the same. These are better than these. Okay. Oh, this is bad. I think we'll lose too much condition doing that. So I think we're stuck here. Ah, okay. I figured out what I was doing wrong last time. Trying to move people. Goodbye, spammer. I keep thinking there should be a pry bar somewhere in here, but I'm not seeing it. Well, I think we're just going to have to lose our fire and sleep in the truck for a little bit. Or rest at least. Still doesn't sound good. We really should cook our potatoes when we get a chance. Just keeps going on and on and on. Okay, we'll try to make it to the farmhouse. Yeah, the wind's coming. It's going to be a race. Yep, there goes that. We have no flare, so... There's our Primar. I think it means we're going to get an Aurora.
I'll take it.
At this point, I think we are officially at 1 day in, so let's update our count. We've survived 1 day. And we should pay close attention to this because I think we start off at dusk. Oops. Which means, unfortunately, did we start off at dusk or did we start off at noon? Can't remember. I think we had a fair bit of time to travel, so I think we must be daytime. So. No.
This pack is getting kind of heavy. This will come in handy.
Okay, that's our second thing of flour. We don't have any oil yet, though. Oh, there's our oil. There's our maple syrup. I think our first step is going to be to cook all those potatoes.
Come on, little fire. Come on. I wonder if I can drop any of this gear. Well, that didn't work.
This is probably going to be faster to do it this way. $31. It's lightweight metal scrap. That's what that is. Well.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
That's 3.
Hope nobody needs this anymore.
Yep. Moving on. Oh, that's good. Need some repairs, but it's good. But that's even better. Look at that, Mackinac. This is turning out to be a pretty solid start, I have to say. Yeah, no complaints here. Okay. I'm kind of tempted just to focus on eating anything that's dangerous. Being out of the way. Okay. Okay. We are still at 1 day. Okay, we're going to take advantage of this all this extra food here and do some repairs. Let's see. We don't need this anymore. I do want to fix this. Okay, good enough. Okay, we don't need all this water. Let's drop. Here we go. Two. Okay, so by about midday, we need to exit out. Okay. Weather looks good. Yeah, it's a wolf over there. Oh, there's a bear. Stay away from the bear. I think we're going to go up to Signal Hill instead. it's still good. We'll use this a little bit longer. If we know where the bear is, we also know where the bear isn't. So let's go loot his lair. Ah, missed it. Actually, I think that's a different bear than this bear. Let's see here. Yeah, he's still sleeping back there. I usually don't do this rope climb, but since we are so light right now, we might as well do it. This is tempting too, but gotta focus. There is a trick. I sometimes forget to do this, but there is a trick with dealing with the bear up here. Or a bear anywhere. If you don't have an arrow, I mean, you don't have the bow yet. If you have no weapon, you can still deal with the bear. And that's by throwing a torch on its nose. But sometimes I forget I can do that, and then I get mauled. But if you are carrying a torch, aim for his nose. Now, it's better if you have a fire going, and you can just draw from the fire and throw the torch at his nose, but... Oh, old man's beard. Let's go grab it. So. Saplings over there. Oh, There's the rest of our old man's beard. Push a giant rock off the cliff? I wish. Yeah, imagine the Long Dark if they included, Hitman style physics. Where like everything in the environment was interactive and movable. Oh, is Signal Void? Yeah, maybe. Nope. If you get a far territory start, yeah. Would I rather have a short 2 to 3 Blackrock start at the beginning of the run, or a fully geared 10-day stay to finish it? That's a tough question. Surviving for like 3 days, 2 or 3 days in Blackrock at the very, very start is so much luck. I don't have the skill to pull that off consistently. If you watch me long enough, you know I generally don't have the skill to pull it off at all. So I don't envy that as a starting location. But do we want to take these?
Use this.
Protection, but not really warmth. Where's our firewood? 7 sticks. I think we'll just start dropping these. Yeah, it is totally my kryptonite. Timberwolves in Blackrock. Mainly it's the Timberwolves that get me in Blackrock.
Come on, little fire. Come on.
We'll just drop these and get them cooked while we can. How are we doing for water? Still good on water. Guess we can make some herbal tea. Hey, Bloody Cactus, welcome in. Thanks for the raid. I'll give you a little shout out here.
Oh my gosh, Atom, you didn't need to do that.
Any clips? Oh, there's a clip.
Thank you very
It's not
much.
dark.
Didn't need to do that, you know.
What is it? What are you playing in there in the clip? Yeah. So, Bloody Cactus, we are back doing, this is probably the challenge I'm most famous for, which is the Roll With It challenge. We're doing this for 2026, because I've never done this challenge with the Cougars. So, this will be my first time doing the challenge with the Cougars enabled. Because the last time I did it was just before they released the Cougars, so... It's not quite a 10-year anniversary. Not that long. Yeah, it's a fun but difficult challenge. It's one of those challenges that initially you think, oh, it's not too bad, but then as you get through it, you start realizing there's a lot of interesting problems that arise. One of them is that you cannot leave too early and you cannot leave late. When the when this turns over to the allotted time, so for us right now, it's we are currently okay. So let's see. Total days we are at 2. We rolled a 9, so we have to spend 9 days here. We're currently on day 2. And then after we get to, when this turns to 9, we have to leave before midnight. So your spawn time makes a lot of difference. Okay. I'm going to drop this extra one here. Just in case we come back here. Okay. Let's figure out where do we want to exit from. I think we're going to come down here. We'll find an appropriate goading location. I think this is my usual one. Actually, this isn't my usual goating location, so... Oh well. It's close. Oh no, our torch is going to burn out. Oh, what's the plan? Early summit or look for the hammer? We want hammer and we want hacksaw. It would be nice if we find the bedroll too, but hammer and hacksaw are definitely priorities. Did the bear return or the bear is out? The bear is out. Once again, the bear is out. Yeah. Well, if you do, like what you end up doing is you have to carry a lot of cloth with you. Hello, Mr. Bear. That's a little uncomfortably close. We could do this thing. Oh, that didn't work. Supposed to wait until he got closer. Let's do that. I got out on the wrong side. I'm tempting fate here. I'm playing with the bear. Okay, we don't have a working torch right now. Well, we have a torch out there, but we're not going to wait for him. We're going to lose that, and we will just wait an hour. He's gone. So we kind of messed up and wasted a few matches on that, but we got out. Yeah. Yeah, we were really low on torches. Let's go make some torches. I think we still have a fir log that we can use.
Come on, little fire.
Yeah, come on, little fire.
Come on, little fire.
Yeah, just throw it over there. That'll be fine, right? Nice and safe. Oh, that was terrible. So we have 7. Let's grab at least 3 more. Okay, up we go. I remember early in the game, you know, when it was pretty new, I found my way up here into the rafters and I thought, this is such a cool place, they should put something here. And of course, for a long time, there was nothing here. But now they have stuff. You know, this guy.
Guess we could have anything.
Okay. Sometimes they have a rabbit hat up there, but not this time. I think we're just going to rest here. Yeah, I mean, there's some nonsensical things, like the fact that you keep throwing torches around in flammable areas. Oh, we can take advantage of the aurora here. Let's see. Do should repair this one. I think this is better. Okay, we're looking pretty good here. Double digits for work bonus. Okay. Hmm. Oh, this is pretty early. It's going to be cold, cold. I think we go plane crash. Plane crash, see if we can get a few more clothing items. Uh-oh. I also grab cattails on the way. But I don't like this. This is too windy. Okay, I think that tells us what we need to do.
Starting to feel numb. Okay, what else do we want to get rid of here? Just trying to travel light. Still sounds pretty bad. Okay. Try this again.
Okay, for tonight, our goal is... I think we'll do a plane crash, and then stop when we get to the Prepper's cache bunker. Because that's our next bed. It's either that or deserters. So, and deserters is a decent place to stay, but there's nothing, I don't think I've ever found anything useful there, other than cloth, maybe some food. Okay, take care. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up probably in about 10 minutes, so.
Wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
So many cattails. Okay, off we go. Okay, so it's actually mid-morning is when our turn is. This is actually a good spawn then. Means we will have most of the day to get out.
My fingers feel numb. don't carry much more. Man, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
Up we go. Okay, firewood. We have a bed here if we want to use it. Not super warm, but it is an option. Sometime I'm going to resurrect my cave dweller challenge where I'm not allowed to sleep indoors. I can only sleep outside. Okay. It's getting pretty foggy now.
I'll take it.
Nope, we don't need that.
This'll come in handy.
Nope.
Nobody needs this anymore. This stuff will come in handy.
Hey, Vanderglow, welcome in. Welcome in, Raiders. Just a quick shout out.
Record of cars. Okay, I will keep it like that. Yes, this is literally how new I am to streaming, that I did
Yeah,
that I
if
do it all
you're
like
joining us right now,
manually.
we're in the middle of, we're bringing back a challenge that I did last.
Contacts?
I don't know, I did a challenge a while back called Roll With It, and we are doing it for the new year. It's a really hard challenge. The last time I succeeded, it was after 30 attempts, so yeah. This time round, we're doing it with cougars now in the game, so that will affect what happens when we stay a very long time in certain regions. This amount of fog is not making me happy. Yeah, we're in the long dark. Now, I should warn you, I'm probably not going to be streaming too much longer. We have a short checklist of things we're going to do before we wrap up. One of them is we're going to loot Skeeter's Ridge. Well, before we do that, we should start a new fire. Need some more torches.
Come on, little fire.
Or not. Come on. Still in early stages. This is day 3 of this Loper run, where we're following this challenge where every time we start or enter a new region, we have to roll a die, and it tells us how long we're going to stay. So we started off, we spawned in Pleasant Valley, and we rolled our 10-sided die and got 9 days. So that's what we're doing. 9 days. We cannot leave early, and we cannot leave late. And even if we return to this region, if we like go here and then go to Forlorn Muskeg and then come back or something like that, every time we re-enter, it counts as a new entrance and we have to roll again. So yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely end up with favorites, right? So without this type of challenge, we have to visit every region in the game. And so without this type of challenge, I have a tendency of avoiding certain regions. And yeah, I'll avoid certain regions or I'll spend too much time in other regions. So this challenge makes me go everywhere. And the dice determine how long I stay, not my preference, you know. So like you can get 20 days, like in the late stages of this challenge, you can get 20 days in Blackrock or 20 days in Bleak Inlet. And you just have to cope. You just have to figure out how you're going to survive for 20 days there. Or it's even theoretically possible to get like 10 days in Crumbling Highway, right? Which is like going to be a lot of beachcombing. Oh, for those of you who are new, here's a little bit about myself. I kind of wear a lot of different hats. I am a writer. I'm the author of 2 books of poetry. I'm also a former computer games programmer. Used to work in educational games for kids. And used to teach creative writing. I still do sometimes. I just recently completed my 4th degree to get a Master's in Library and Information Science to teach or to work as an academic librarian, or more specifically a data librarian, which is to say, you know, I'm combining some of my background as a programmer with the work we do as information specialists and academics as academic librarians. So helping other researchers use these tools, digital methods, digital research analysis techniques. Okay.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Yeah, I've done a lot of different things over the years, but I also feel like I was telling someone else this. Actually, I was on the phone with my sister earlier today, and I was saying, the thing I feel like is that I'm always starting over. I'm always starting something. I don't feel like... I feel like a lot of things have... My life is mostly starting things. I'd like to find myself in a position where I'm like more firmly settled in somewhere, but it doesn't seem to be how my life has gone. Look at all this birch. If we only had a hacksaw. Yeah, library would be good. I'm waiting. I'm kind of in this limbo right now. Sometime this coming week, I'm going to probably hear back on the job that I'm one of the finalists for. And if I get it, it means I have a position, a temporary position, a 1-year position. Or not even 1 year. Probably it'll be about 10 months worth of a position in Toronto. It would be a fantastic experience. It would be great training. It's a parental leave fill. So basically someone's going away on maternity leave and, I fill in for them for, 8 to 10 months, So it's a good experience, but there's no path out of it into a job. Like there's no guarantee. So I'll be out there and then I'll have to keep looking. So on one hand, I'm excited about the idea. On the other hand, I just feel like it's more, I would really have preferred to be competing for a permanent role someplace, and then I can make longer term plans. But in the present mode, it's basically, get a chance to start, and then maybe it translates into something like I'll network and find some other position afterwards. Yeah, that's the problem, is like, how many birch, like all these birch saplings and not a single hacksaw. Yeah, unfortunately this is the problem, is like, the career that I had wanted to settle into, I did a PhD in literature and creative writing, and I was all set to teach as a university professor in creative writing. And the market kind of collapsed. Just like there were only, adjunct or contingent positions. A lot of the full-time positions disappeared and were replaced with part-time roles.
I can use this.
We are set now, folks. Bedroll nabbed. Now we just need our hacksaw. We are set. So yeah, academic roles started to dry up. So it became extremely competitive. And when I was looking back then, when I did my PhD, it was 2015. That's when I finished up. And obviously by 2016, like as a Canadian in the US, it was impossible to find work. Because immigration policies were all out the window and no one knew anything about what was going on. Kept changing every few weeks. So no one wanted to take a risk. So eventually I gave up and moved back to Canada. And then the pandemic happened. And then I worked primarily as a writing consultant and manuscript editor remotely, and basically did the same work. It was like being a professor, but without a university affiliation. I'd occasionally teach workshops and classes, and I would work one-on-one. Do I prefer Canada? I do. I do, but I miss some things about the States. I enjoyed my time in Los Angeles. I enjoyed my time in Portland. No. I do find it's cheaper to travel within the United States than it is to travel within Canada.
Barely walk.
But I was in Southern California for a long time. I moved out there originally to work in the computer games industry and did that for about 5 years, and then did an MFA, a master's in creative writing, for another 2 years. Went back to Canada for a little bit. For a year, and then came back to LA and did PhD, and that took me too long. It took me 8 years to finish the PhD. Yeah, but it feels that way, except the healthcare component is such a huge thing. Because all it takes, like this idea of medical debt, is unthinkable in Canada. It just doesn't happen. And so in the States, you're always one catastrophe away. Especially if you don't have employment that offers you insurance. Then it's like really, really pricey. A friend of mine, got let go from her job as a editor at a press, and had already been transitioning into running a bookstore. She set up a bookstore and was doing that. Now, bookstores don't make a lot of money, but yeah, without her former employer, her healthcare costs just skyrocketed. So some things are subsidized, but I think grocery prices are going up in the US as well. Gas is cheaper. Yeah, if you have any health complications in the US, yeah, it just gets really, if you're young, healthy, and employed in a traditional job, like one that provides you health care, then things are fine, right? They feel fine. But the moment you're not one of those people, then you start to realize how precarious the whole system is. Just
This bag is getting too heavy to carry.
so, like in the US, I would really, really like hesitate to go and see a doctor. I would wait until the last minute, until things were like, oh, I feel like this is serious enough, I need to see a doctor, right? Which usually didn't happen. So I just didn't go see the doctor. In Canada, you feel ill, you feel unwell, anything you don't know, you have some questions about what's going on with your health, you just book a time and go, and it costs you nothing. Most of the time, nothing. And so people go to the doctor more often, or they seek medical attention more often. And they're healthier. And it's cheaper. So even though more of our taxes go to it, it's actually a better system. Is it the best healthcare system out there? No. There are better systems out there. But it's definitely better and more reassuring than the way that the US handles it. So okay, let's see here. I think we're probably going to wrap up here. We are on day 3. Oh, we're almost late enough in the day to... What are we doing for food here? We cooked soup. Do some cooking. Let's go cook up those things that we need to cook up. Yeah. So I do think, like, for some things it is cheaper. And some things have hidden costs.
Come on, little fire.
Okay. Okay, let's see, what can we get rid of here? Okay, well, yeah, get some sleep. I'm going to wrap up here in a second. Oh, wow, I went later than I thought I was going to go. Will do. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, yeah. Get you some Babbage poem. Okay. Send good old Astrid to sleep.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Okay, let's use our time wisely here. We'll get Astrid to the morning. Okay. Okay. What time is it? Astrid, day 3, almost day 4. Actually, what we could do is we can even read, which would be more useful than this. Okay. Four days. We're about halfway through our first area. Still so much to do. Okay. Okay, that is us then. Exit and re-enter for the save.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
That's a blizzard. Okay, let's read something. Okay, we'll close with a poem from Babbage. Well, something from Babbage's Dream. This is from my second book of poetry, Babbage's Dream, published by Sundress Publications in 2017. We will read. Let's see, what haven't we read for a while? Okay. Let's do... Babbage, Closing His Eyes, 1871. What is it that you see... sorry. What is it that you see rising from the gray, even as the lights dim, your heart and lungs clocking out after the long day of labor? The world slows, weary of the noise of other beings. You've said many things to rooms full of impenetrable minds, tried to lay down a map for those who might follow. What else can you do at the end, when there is no language expansive enough to render what lies beating in the heart of every diagram you've sketched? Between these lines and the grand machine, invisible, intangible as a ghost-made miracle, you've lived out your years, crafted a home in the shadow of a dream. And now it is over. Outside, the organ grinders gather around the walls, their angry little boxes of gears stubbornly playing on, relentless in your final hour, though you fought them for years, drove them from the street lamps into the deeper night. They will not leave. They will not let go. So I forgot to preface this with those of you who are new. Babbage here is Charles Babbage, 19th century mathematician who designed, partially built, but never finished the first programmable computer. And so he's considered a computer pioneer, and his work had not only an influence on the development of modern computers, but also had a lasting impact on the popular imagination around thinking machines and artificial intelligence. So this particular poem is about, like, in 1871, this is Babbage on his deathbed, as he's dying. And the great tragedy of Babbage's life, there were a number of tragedies, but one of them was that he never finished. And that the reception of his ideas changed during the 1830s and 40s, even into the 1850s. There was still a lot of enthusiasm. But by the 1850s, people started to say, when is this actually going to happen? When are we actually going to have these, clockwork brains that do all the intellectual labor for us? And when is your machine actually going to be finished? And Babbage was guilty of constantly tinkering with the design and rethinking it and improving upon it. And so, it kept on delaying, when he was actually done. And the funding disappeared after a while, and then he was on his own. And he came from money, so he funneled some of his own, wealth into doing this. But by and large, toward the end of his life, it was just him obsessed with trying to map everything out in the diagram of what he was trying to build, inventing new schematics and new notation, engineering notation, just to render things in the level of detail and specificity that he needed, but also aware that no one in his lifetime was going to see this. And in his memoir, he says, like, some future generation will, this is like, once built, some future generation will know that this will change the world, effectively is what he said. So there's a little moment at the end of the poem with the organ grinders, which were these wandering... So they're like a type of panhandler or beggar, but they would have like a crank organ that would play music, and usually there was a monkey that danced with them as well. And they were notorious in London for basically setting up a type of extortion scheme where they surround, passers-by and keep playing incessantly their music until you paid them to go away. So they were a nuisance, and Babbage definitely identified them as being a nuisance. So he went so far as to go to war with them, and he spearheaded a number of laws that were passed that prevented them from gathering too close to places of residence. And they were ticked because this was like part of their scheme for making money. So when they heard that Babbage was dying, they all gathered within earshot of his home, and they played and played and played. They refused to stop playing while he was dying, which is like the pettiest thing to do. But in a way, it's that perfectly fitting ending too for the sound of a machine that will not let go, for someone who spent his life chasing after a machine and would not let go. So, okay, so that's Babbage's dream. That was Babbage closing his eyes, 1871. Okay, so we're going to wrap up here. We're going to find someone to go raid. Thank you, Vantiglow, for the raid, and thank you earlier for the raid from Bloody Cactus. And so we are going to also close our eyes, but not permanently, and get some sleep. Yeah, so let's figure out who we can go raid. Let me pull up our list of other streamers. Okay, let's see. Up Until Will is still playing Games and Cookies. No, we should drop in on Games and Cookies. Okay. So another TLD streamer. It's been a while. We should wish them a Happy New Year. Okay, so we'll pop over raid Games and Cookies and wish them a Happy New Year. I am going to get some sleep. Good night, all.